Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Today I'm at Tampa River Walk. As you can see, I am at the busy side of Tampa River Walk. As usual, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share with you one insight that may benefit you, whether you are a leader, a professional, or a business owner. Let me to give you the sense of where I am. As you can see, this is a very crowded place. People are out here. Today is Saturday and people are out here enjoying, some of them taking walk, others are hanging out and enjoying life. And I'm here to give you some insights about one critical aspect of, let's say, life, business, and leadership. This is about thinking and strategically, because this is very important whether you are a professional leader or an entrepreneur. This is important not just because I love it, no, because it's very, very relevant to where we are right now in the 21st century. We are challenged by the overwhelming information that we are getting from social media, including TikTok, which means we have little time, little chance to be critical. If we're not critical, what happens? A lot of things, bad things could happen. First of all, there are a lot of people out there. They turn on the camera, use their cell phone like I do use my cell phone, and now they're broadcasting. If they have some skill sets in terms of how to sell you, then they could be able to sell you even wrong information. They could be able to convince you into something that's sham. Why? Because they know how to tap into human psychology. They are trained. They know how to provoke your emotions. They know how you jump in and buy into their ideas without questioning it, because they know human psychology. And they use one of the approaches in human psychology to make you believe what you hear from them, what you see. Now, this is about the era where we're challenged by a lot of information. Many of them are fake news. Many of them are strategically positioned for political, social, or many other sinister reasons and agendas, which calls for critical thinking. But we should not just be critical about other people and the information that we get from them. We should also be very, very critical about ourselves too. Don't forget, we have our own. We may have some beliefs, some values, some assumptions that are wrong. And unless we make sure that we think critically and question this beliefs, these values, what happens? We may be buying into lies, or things that are obsolete, which means they don't. Oh, I'm showing you, this is beautiful. Okay, this boat ahead of this big recreational boat. There are a lot of people out there. I should be able to get on this one of these days. Awesome, beautiful. I have never done it since I came to Tampa, and I will definitely do this. And maybe I will record something while I am in that boat or something like that. If you are in Tampa, this is one of the ways you could be able to enjoy life in this beautiful city of Tampa. Coming back to our discussion, okay, the era is very challenging, which calls for critical thinking. And also we have to question our obsolete beliefs, values, and assumptions to make choices and decisions that are based on accurate data, accurate assumptions, and accurate beliefs and values. To do that, we need to think critically. I don't go in detail because when we help our coaches and our participants, we go in detail and giving them some strategies and tactics on how to think critically, how to question popular thoughts, how to question your own deep inside beliefs, values that may look like you. You may consider them true, but they're not true until you critically think. Now, let me give you a couple of simple, easy tips you could do today. This is very important. You could do it starting from today. It doesn't cost you anything. The first thing you want to do is whenever you hear something so good to be true, think about critical thinking. This could be wrong or exaggerated, and I need to think critically. I need to gather more data, more information. I need to talk experts. I need to get some, let's say 2-3 alternative views on this one. Second, another tip, whenever yourself ready to jump in and make tough decisions, think about critical thinking. Ask questions like, what are the information, the data that I gathered that led me to make this decision? What are the consequences of this decision? What are the implications, both in short and long term? If you ask this kind of questions, they may take you a couple of minutes. You could be able to avoid a lot of mistakes. I'm talking about at personal level. You should do that also in your team, in your organization, to be critical, which means you don't buy into something. You don't just fall into cheap, easy information and make decisions based on less true or even poor or not that quality information. Wow, today is very, very busy. The river is very, very busy. All right, the second one is thinking strategically. Thinking critically gonna help you to question popular thoughts, your own beliefs, values, assumptions, so that you could be able to make the right choices, the right decisions. It may save you tons of money, time, energy, and a lot of headaches. The second one, the strategic thinking part, is gonna position you, your team, and your organization to be more strategic positions. You could be able to compete better. You could be able to place yourself in a very strategic position, and you should be able to beat your competitors. You could become very indispensable, very, very important wherever you are. You could be able to elevate and take your strategic position better if you think strategically. I can give you a couple of examples. For example, before I go there, I want to just clarify one thing, which is a lot of people think goals are strategies, vision is a strategy. They think that vision is a strategy, but they're not. One example, for example, if you think about Walmart made a strategic choice how it wanted to be a competitive organization, and strategically they decided that we compete with price, which means they want to make things available cheaply, and that's how we want to compete, not based on quality and so on. It's based on, definitely, yes, price. Think about Apple, they don't compete based on price. They compete based on quality, most importantly, by making their products very, very simple. Which means they had choices. They could have competed, for example, based on price, but they didn't. They decided, you know what, we're gonna produce quality products and we price them right, and target those people who appreciate quality and simplicity. And that's how Apple competes. You see, a strategy is a choice that you make, and your strategies dictate how your organization, your team, your life continues to be successful. For example, I can give you a personal example. In my case, at one point in my professional life, I was challenged which path I should take, and I needed to make a decision. I have to make a choice, and I had multiple choices, but they were two. The most important choices I needed to make were two, which means, should I specialize and just pick a lane as a strategy, dive in, focus, zoom in, or should I become a generalist? You can imagine choosing one of these strategies wasn't easy. That's why making strategic choices are very tough. And therefore, if you're not challenged to make a choice, which means you're not making strategic choices. If it is easy for you to make a choice, means maybe you are making what? Tactical choices, not strategic choices. Once I said that, once I clarified what critical and strategic thinking are, let's talk about how to make them very, very practical for you. My suggestion is, I want you to have a document, a strategic plan, call it whatever you want. Document. Wow, this is a place for one of the biggest universities in Florida, the University of South Florida. So you come up with a strategic plan, whatever name you want to give it. I want you to come up with a document that guides you, your team, and your organization. To make it very practical for you, my suggestion is brainstorm together with your colleagues, your friends, your mentors, to come up with, let's say, 2 or 3 strategies that are going to guide you or your team. Based on those strategies, come up with some actions, some initiatives that you could take. One of the challenges a lot of leaders have is that coming up with strategies is easy. What's more challenging, making sure that you implement those strategies, the execution part. If you go and Google right now, for example, and ask any one of the AI models, they will give you a lot of tips on and even a template to come up with your strategic plan, which means whatever you think critically and strategically, you can put it on a paper. Now, the problem is this: most of the outlines that you get, the templates that you get online, they're not really practical. They are there for just maybe academical exercise. Yeah, they're not that much useless, but I don't recommend you to follow that. For example, in our case, for our clients, when we do consulting, strategic planning sessions, when we coach our clients, we have a very practical framework on how to come up with a strategic plan that delivers results, which means we work with our clients to pick a couple of strategies to lead them in the next 3 to 5 years, and then we come up with 3 to 5 initiatives, let's say the first year. During that first year, you come up with a couple of initiatives. You assign people to lead those initiatives based on the larger or the umbrella strategies, and of course you come up with some tasks, assign those tasks to different people, you put deadline, you also allocate resources, and then put in place some measurements, how you're going to measure success and how you're going to track the success. evaluate and make changes, because the strategic plan that you come up with may not be able to be practical unless you review and see and make change. My advice is just don't delay. Whatever goal that you have, any strategic goal that you have for your company, for your team, for your organization, start by sitting down with your team to come up with some strategies, and based on the strategies, come up with a strategic plan that's going to guide you. The strategic plan should be very practical. Come up with some initiatives, assign teams that are going to lead those initiatives, come up with some success measures, and then put in place a tracking mechanism to evaluate your progress, and then make sure you make changes on time before it is too late. I hope what I shared is beneficiary for you, for your team and organization, and you can be able to tap into the insights I share. If you need any help for you, for your team, for your organization, don't hesitate to reach out. All right, enjoy the rest of the weekend. All right, bye-bye.